It's the notion of, if you provide so much upfront value to an individual, can you actually guilt them into buying? Especially if all your actions are predicated on not expecting them to buy it. That's the big part. When the energy of your tactics is to convert, you will lose.
What's up guys, Rob here. I hope you are doing fantastic and having a great time of year. Merry Christmas, happy holidays and all that. In today's video, I'm gonna give you a seriously cool, persuasive strategy that you can use over Christmas to, get better business relationships, to make more money online. This is actually evidence-based and it's baked in psychology and how humans work, how humans make decisions. You'll have just seen a clip of Gary Vee talking about giving more value. And to tell you the truth, there is a ton of top level influencers and personal brands out there who all utilize this strategy. It's very effective and it's evidence-based. One thing I hate about this guru era that we're in is that basically we're in a time where everyone's a successful entrepreneur. If you scroll on Instagram for a few minutes, everyone's a millionaire, right? They're all selling you these various different things, these various different tactics and techniques. And how do you even know what is real and what's not real? How do you know what to spend your very limited time on learning? And how do you know what's gonna work in the end? That's why I don't like to look at any of that stuff, and I like to look at the stuff which is actually evidence-based and proven psychology in terms of how people make decisions, how people end up liking you more, how people end up doing business deals with you more. So that's exactly what I'm talking about on today's video. And the principle today is called reciprocity. And you nail this down, you will be doing very well, whether you want to build a personal brand, whether you want to, make more money online. The principle of reciprocity goes like this. Basically, if you do a favor for someone, people feel this compelling need to do a favor back for you. It's reciprocity. You give value, they end up giving value back. So what does this look like? Before I get into the actual study, which I'll break down in today's video, and before I get into the actionable takeaways, how you can use this to grow your business, get more connections and things like this. And what does this look like in typical day-to-day? Well, reciprocity would look like this. If me and you were friends in real life, I like to think we're friends here online, but if we're friends in real life and you actually knew me and we decided one day we're gonna go out for a beer together, right? A catch up and a beer. It's the festive period, right? We would go to a bar together, and when we go to the bar together, let's just say I, go to the bartender and I order a beer for both me and you, right? So I pay for those two beers and we sit down and we drink these beers, and when we finish these beers, you will get this compelling urge to get the next round, right? Because I got the first two beers, and you will feel the urge to actually get the next two beers. And you will give back for the thing which I've given to you. That is called reciprocity. And reciprocity basically means I do you a favor, you do me a favor back. And that is it on a basic everyday level. And the key part of that is it isn't necessarily you buying the thing back for me. It's the fact that basically when you saw I'm about to finish my beer, you get this compelling, strange urge that you feel the need to pay the debt back. That is reciprocity right there. And it works in all different sorts of scenarios. I made a video earlier this year on how Alex Hormozi uses reciprocity and how he's built his personal brand off it. And in that video, there's a clip of him speaking about reciprocity, but there's also, I cover the actual science of it. So I'm going to show you that now.
Because if you deposit enough goodwill in there, it just starts coming back. And I know that sounds crazy, but the amount of people that DM me are like, hey man, can I give you 10 grand for 10 minutes? I'm like, no, I don't do that. But the amount of times people inbound and they're like, hey, can I have you on my podcast? Can I have you on my stage? All these things are happening because you're not asking for anything. And it makes people feel uncomfortable. They're like, how can I buy something from you? And you're like, you can't. And I'm like, use the get to 3 million, then we can party.
So that's what Alex Hormozi says about goodwill and reciprocity, and that is how he's applying it, right? Next, so this is an official persuasion principle that's evidence-based, it's science-based. I will show you a clip of me describing the actual original study that I also made in that Alex Hormozi video. Before we start looking at how we can apply this to your everyday life, you going out there and actually making new connections, being able to, grow your business and things like this.
Here's one of the most popular studies which looked into reciprocity, and it's the Coca-Cola experiment. And essentially what happened here, I'm going to draw this for you just for ease of understanding. There were two groups of people, group 1 and group 2. The objective was to see which group of people bought more raffle tickets. And there was a person selling the raffle tickets to each group. Let's just call him, for this example, Joe. Now, before asking each group to buy a raffle ticket, Joe went and got a Coca-Cola for himself. When he came back, he'd also just got the people in group 1 a Coca-Cola as well. But he hadn't got the people in group 2 a Coca-Cola. He came back empty-handed for them. Now, Joe asked each group whether they'd like to buy raffle tickets. Group 1 bought way more raffle tickets than Group 2. And interestingly enough, when Group 1 was asked if they liked Joe more than Group 2, they said they didn't. So basically, buying the Coca-Cola for Group 1 didn't make them like Joe anymore, but it made them feel more in debt to Joe, so therefore they bought more raffle tickets. So if we just scan it through Alex Hormozi's channel here, he's constantly saying, he does 85 million per year, 100 million per year, and he has nothing to sell you. His whole strategy is that he's giving you value for free, aka a favor, in the hopes that those favors are valuable enough to you, so you end up scaling your business. And then once you get to a certain point, I think it's 3 million per year, you will then look to how you can scale that further. And who's the person who's going to stand out to you? Well, it's the person you feel that you owe the most favors to, which happens to be Alex Hormozi.
So what does this look like in the business world? Reciprocity is being used all over the place. If you go into any, superstore, this could be a superstore such as Asda, Walmart, Target, any sort of store which is worldwide, Costco, you will see that they are offering, particularly at Christmas time, samples of things. And it's not just to see if you like whatever they're selling, it's actually to enable reciprocity. So if you walk into a store, maybe they're offering aftershave or perfume, test sprays. Maybe they are offering, a cocktail stick with a bit of cheese on the end or something like that. So you can try it and then you're more likely to buy the product. And it's not just for you to test the product, it's because you're going to feel a little bit in debt to that. And it works very well. This is why these strategies are still used. If you do any sort of charity work or go to some sort of charity event, or when you walk around and there's a bunch of different stalls up and people are trying to push what the charity is selling, often they'll give you free gifts like a free pen or a free bag of goodies. And the purpose of that is because then you're more likely to donate to the charity if you receive a gift like that. So when it comes to Christmas time, it's a time where you're surrounded by family, friends, extended family, extended friends, friends of friends, etc. Make the effort to stand out from people by either giving Christmas cards. No one gives Christmas cards these days. I received a Christmas card through the post the other day from a person that I'd forgot about, and I've remembered it because it was one of the only people that had a person from a long time ago who specifically had taken the time to send me a personalized Christmas card. I was like, that's really nice, right? So that person's on my mind, right? And I feel like I need to do something back. Reciprocity, right? Can you provide, personalized Christmas cards to people? Can you provide personalized gifts? Can you, think of a person who you might have met who they might like something, right? And give them some sort of gift or some sort of, small present. It doesn't have to be huge, right? It just has to be memorable to them. Third, can you, hopefully it's a social time for you where, there's a bunch of different people gathered around. Can you provide introductions to various different people, introduce them so you're the connector? Can you not only do that, but perhaps offer real value to them if they need some sort of value from you, or you've identified there's something which they have which you could solve? Could you, send them a WhatsApp message? Could you get their, WhatsApp and send them a WhatsApp saying, hey, I thought about this thing that you were talking about the other night, and I think that maybe A, B, and C could work for this based on this evidence here, right? That's offering true, genuine value, providing value for people. that will then basically unlock a different layer of that relationship and friendship for you, and perhaps get you some business in the future. Do you see how these things end up tying together? And it's the same as what figures do online for building the personal brand. And this reciprocity principle works in any scenario. I'm going to show you a clip of 50 Cent next, talking about when he was in prison, he would basically give the money which he received to all of his team and keep none for himself, because he wanted to be seen as the person in the group who could provide the most value. Fascinating stuff, right? Let's watch it.
Like, you told me this great story of how, like, you weren't making that much money, but you were giving it all to them, so they knew that you were still the top guy.
Yeah, because we would go in there when we was backing up. They would give you like $1,100 a piece. So it's like 4 people in there, and I'm in there, and but everybody in here used to work for me, so I can't take this $1,100. So I was saying 20. And anything that was left over, I just would take the whole leftover. But I wouldn't take the money that they knew was. So then when they tried to get them to go to bag up without me, they'll be like, no, we're boo-boo.
Yeah.
They don't know they get more if I'm there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You see that? So I'm trying to give you a few different scenarios of where you could strategically position reciprocity. So what have we got so far? You can give the value out if you're building some sort of personal brand, like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about, like Alex Hormozi talks about. You can give, if you've got some, people behind you, you need to support you to sort of a common goal, then you can give them more than they give back, because ultimately they'll see you as the value giver. If you go to, Christmas events, or you're offering some sort of business, do free tasters, do free, tests that potential customers can take. If you're at, Christmas events and things like this, can you offer personalized Christmas cards? Can you, give gifts? Can you make introductions to people? All of these things, these tiny little steps, which seem insignificant, basically activate the persuasion principle of reciprocity, which allows you to be able to win in the future. You don't win now, but you win in the future. And at Christmas time as well, not many people buy things. People wait to January to buy things. So if you've got a bunch of good relationships in place, a bunch of people who feel like they owe you something because you have provided genuine value. I love this principle because it's, first of all, it's, baked in science. It's got good evidence behind it. But secondly as well, like, it's very ethical, because all you're doing is you're just making people feel good and basically giving them great outcomes. And you could see that this works all over the place. And reciprocity is a superpower when it comes to, building connections, building business and things like this. Okay. So we did a bit of a deep dive today. We looked at some research, bit of a different video. I'm trying out a few different videos on this channel because I want to see what you guys actually like the most. I know you not like the reaction videos. I know that when I sit down and kind of kick it and just raw talk for a little bit on topics which maybe you've asked me questions, you like that as well. And I can see this because I can see the watch time, and I can see that most of you guys watch it actually all the way through. So you're helping build this community in this channel, which is fantastic, really. It is. So let me know what you think of this video. I've got a persuasion cheat sheet coming out soon, which will have principles like this in it. If you fill out your email address on the form below underneath this video, then feel free to do that, and I will send you, the persuasion cheat sheet whenever it's ready, when we've got enough numbers and that, and when it's good to go. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, look after your families, look after yourselves this Christmas, get a bit of downtime, recharge, and see you in the next video. Take it easy.